All right, so today's question was how to settle credit card debt. So basically, I'm not gonna read all their business, but someone just got in a little pickle where um, they needed to use their credit card for an emergency, and now the credit card is over the limit, and still interest is being added to the credit card. And so the question was basically, how can I settle the credit card debt? What's the best way to do that? And just to keep it short and sweet, while the debt is still with the creditor, the best way would just be to, contact that creditor and see if you can work out a payment arrangement with them, preferably a pay for deletion with them, so that this account could be removed. Now, this particular person does have late payments, so this isn't an account that's just reporting a high balance, but it has a high balance as well as several late payments. So the best bet for this person would be to do a pay for deletion, because even if they were to settle the account, that account's derogatory status and that the derogatory payment history would still be on this person's credit profile for other creditors to see, in the event that they apply for new credit. So the best way to handle a situation like this would just be to contact the creditor directly, assuming that the debt is still with the creditor and it has not been sold to a third-party collection agency, and offer a pay for deletion, and see if that creditor would be willing to accept a lower payment, or if they would be willing to put you on a payment plan, but we still want to get that account deleted, put you on a payment plan until you were able to pay the account off, if they're not willing to accept a lower amount than whatever the balance is. That would be like my number one suggestion. But then there's also other methods where you could go through like a debt settlement program, or hire an attorney, a debt attorney, but it just would depend on how much debt you've accumulated with credit cards and then your income. So with something like this, I'm answering for that person's specific situation, but for you who's watching, obviously you could try the do it yourself method, which would be, contacting the creditor, offering to pay for deletion, preferably something that you can afford to pay, whether in a lump sum or over monthly installments, but heavy on the pay for deletion part. Okay, but then there's also, debt settlement programs, hiring an attorney to do things like this on your behalf, but that can also cost and could be a timely process. So you just gotta pick, because if you are, and see, I don't like to throw out numbers as far as balances goes, because I don't want something to seem minute to one person, but it be a big deal to somebody else. And I don't want to make nobody feel bad, because $1,000 could be a life-changing amount of debt for a person. And then that could be, that ain't shit to somebody else. You know what I mean? So I'm not even going to throw out a number, because I just don't want to do that. But your financial situation better than I do. So if you feel like you're just in too deep and the doing it yourself method isn't working for you or won't work for you, just be careful when you go into these debt settlement programs or start reaching out to other companies to do things like this on your behalf, because you don't want to be getting taken advantage of, and then you also don't want to not be in the loop on what they're doing or saying on your behalf to the other company. And you definitely don't want to just be giving them money and being under the impression that they're handling it. I promise you, whatever they can do, you can do. So, and don't feel like you need to have some special words. You don't. You can literally write them and say, hey, I'm willing to pay this amount of money for this debt in exchange for it to be removed from my credit report. Is that something that you would be willing to accept? Something like that. You know what I mean? It don't have to be all, you got to just know the right words to say. Like, you could just shoot it to them straight. Okay. But yeah, to answer that person's question, that's what I would do. I would go straight to the creditor directly, but then you have the other option of adding on help, but just be mindful of that. And it also depends on where you, like, what you feel is too much for you to be able to get out of. You know what I mean? There are debt relief programs out there, but just, again, you just need to be mindful of like who you're hiring, and just be in the know. Ask questions. Don't go into anything blindly. Don't be signing nothing blindly. Don't just be like, okay, I'll give it to you to worry about. You need to know. I need to know what you're saying, what you're doing, where the money going. I need to know. I need to see it. You need to see it. Okay, so if you're gonna choose that route, just be informed on that. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.